Anderson.
This was about, the grants and reconfiguring. Darlene Anderson. I'm so concerned about the student achievement and the use of the federal dollars and the purpose of those federal dollars. This district has always had an abundance of contractors. And the student achievement is low straight across the board, not only for African Americans, but for white kids too. It doesn't really matter. Kids are at 8%. Some school sites 8, some school sites 0. None of the kids are scoring at 50th percentile. But that's the board's responsibility, is education. It's not contracts. It's not to ensure that people are getting paid in the community. It's to ensure education is happening. And I have to allege that the board doesn't understand what the responsibility is. Quite frankly, when the presentation happened last board meeting, and I looked at the data, I was horrified. I was horrified because African Americans were on the bottom, but all the kids were failing. And so that comes from accountability. And then we voted to give the superintendent more money and increase his contract. But the children are going to jail in Sacramento. And it's like I said, when you fail catastrophically. When you have parents coming up here concerned that issues are not handled, board meeting after board meeting, that means the job is not getting done. These are life issues that is being allowed to continue and not having resolved. The board has a true responsibility to be accountable to the public. I'm a member of the public. And a true responsibility to ensure that kids are making progress, adequate yearly progress, for what the dollars are for, not to ensure that contracts are fulfilled. Thank you.
And we'll take public comment on 9.1F.
Public comment from Darlene Anderson.
No, I don't want to talk on this one, because I just did.
Maybe because we were related contract. Okay, no more. Thank you. I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda. I've got a first by Vice President Cunha and a second by Vice President Wu. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. The ayes have it. We've passed the consent agenda. Item 10.0, communications. Item 10.1, employee organization reports. We'll begin with CSA. SCTA.
Members of the board, President Rodriguez, Superintendent Raymond. I'm Scott Smith, President of SCTA. As Winston Churchill said, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those other forms that have been tried. I think this quote is very appropriate tonight as this board tries to decide how they are going to act in response to a call for democracy. SCTA, along with the 4 other bargaining units here in SCUSD, respectfully submit to you the following position statement. The leadership of the 5 bargaining units within the Sacramento City Unified School District, that is SCTA, SEIU, Local 1021, Teamsters Local 150, CSA, and UP, are very concerned about the process for the filling of the Area 1 trustee position. The fact that the candidates for the Area 1 position have been collecting recommendation letters from who's who in local politics and school leadership unfairly politicizes the process and the foundation of a clear and transparent democracy. Allowing sitting board members to make appointments was an established process during the time when all board members were elected at large. In 2006, voters supported measures J and K, which allowed the election of board members in a designated trustee area. The use of the appointment process ignores the will of the people and denies the residents their rights to elect their own representative. The 5 collective bargaining agreements call upon the Sacramento City Unified School District to hold an election to Area 1 as soon as possible. We ask that there be no interim appointment prior to the election, as the appointment would create an unfair advantage to the appointee. We all know how we arrived at this place. While the actions of a few are very regrettable, there is a much bigger issue surrounding this attempt at hijacking the voting process. When voters passed Measure J and K, rejecting the at-large process in favor of a designated trustee area, it was in response to the 2004 filling of Rob Fong's seat. While we understand your concerns about the cost of holding a special election, it seems very disingenuous when you just spent $500,000 this summer for City Year. Are we to assume that you found that change in the couch cushions? And when it comes time to support the will of the voters, now you cry poverty. The use of the appointment process ignores the will of the area voters and denies residents their right to elect their own board members. Teachers oppose this. While we see many fine candidates for the open seat, we cannot support any of them before we support the democratic process. Thank you.
SEIU.
Evening, President Rodriguez, board members, Superintendent Raymond. Let me start by welcoming the newly elected and re-elected board members. Congratulations. Hope you know what you're getting yourselves into. So rather than simply repeat what has been said before by prior speakers, and I certainly hate following the SCTA rep with that wonderful speech, I couldn't agree more. This is about democracy. This is about the democratic process. This is about voters in an area being able to elect one of their own to represent them, rather than give up their right to that elective process to 6 other individuals whom they did not elect. I don't believe when measures J and K were passed, that was what the voters really expected to do. And let me additionally say, this is not about any of the applicants for the appointment. I'm sure that amongst those applicants, there's some fine representatives for that area, but this should be about the voters in that area getting to select them. On another note, in 2 weeks, you should be receiving the first interim budget report. At the last board meeting, I gave you a fairly large stack of work orders that had not been completed because of prior budget actions of this board. I hope some of you took a chance to look through those and have seen how serious some of those issues would be, and frankly, how many years it's been since some of those issues were dealt with. Things like rodent infestations in school sites that haven't been dealt with because we don't budget for it. So when you do get the first interim budget report, please, please, please don't simply scan the staff report. Please look at the line items. Please ask probing questions. The fact that certain programs may be partially grant funded doesn't mean that we should also be spending general fund money to support those programs if the program is not absolutely necessary. If we are sacrificing our kids' health and safety to capture grant funds, we're not doing the right thing by our kids. And again, I hope there's time for a lengthy discussion and lots of questions about the first interim budget report at the next meeting. I hope the public has a chance to look those documents over in detail and ask lots of questions too. Thanks.
Teamsters. UPE. Moving on to 10.2, District Parent Advisory Committees. Community Advisory Committee. District Advisory Council. School Site Councils. District English Learner Advisory Committee. Gifted and Talented Education Advisory Committee. Indian Education Parent Committee. Sacramento Council of Parent-Teacher Association, PTA. Item 10.3, Superintendent's Report. It's an information item, 5 minutes.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. It's never too early to talk about summer. And this past week, I had a chance to attend the California School Boards Association annual conference up in San Francisco, and I was invited to make a presentation on the really cutting-edge work and the importance of summer learning and all that we're doing here in Sacramento through our program, Summer Matters, which include our Summer of Service program and the first of its kind Summer at City Hall. We recognized one of our scholars this evening from Fern Bacon, Leslie Del Toro, and I had a chance to observe her and see her work this past summer. Truly amazing what we're doing in the summer with our kids, particularly the opportunity to extend learning for those children that are most at risk. This helps to bridge June to September, which is a really tough time for so many of our families here in Sacramento. It helps our kids build those important social networks, and we know how these social networks are important today, and it makes them feel not only positive about themselves and their future, but also empowered to do something to move toward their future. These programs are helping our students also build that important social capital, this positive currency that will also help them not only today, but throughout their lives. And these programs fit really well into our social and emotional learning initiative. Earlier this week, I wrote to staff about the importance of teaching kids and that the importance of it's all about relationships. It has to be, because students, and for our students, the option is for them to learn, and they have that option. We can't force children to learn, no matter how often and how hard we try. They must be willing and active participants in this process. And that's where relationships come in and why they're so important. If we want our students to stay and to become engaged learners, we must work really hard to develop quality and caring relationships with them. And working with CASEL, the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, we're making great strides to bringing SEL, as we call it, throughout our whole school district. We're also looking at how social emotional learning can be integrated into our Common Core work to be able to push kids to learn more, to excel, and also to help our teachers and educators learn new content and new practice. We've got a great SEL work team. We've got a good plan and a timeline that will push this work over the next several years. Next week, we'll be joining with two districts from around the country that are also sharing this work, Oakland Unified and Wausau County in Reno, to continue to share ideas and to share best practices. We're excited to be hearing what others are doing and to bring this work back to Sacramento. I do want to give a shout out to the PTA. Their art exhibit, Reflections, is up on the second floor, and I urge all of you to take a look to really understand the magic of the moment. To use those words, magic of the moment, I had an opportunity earlier today to meet and to hear from Erin Grunwell. She's the teacher from Long Beach who together with her students wrote the diary Freedom Writers. She came to our school district today with some of those original Freedom Writers to address and to meet our students at Health Professions High School. And it was an incredible moment for our young people to really see firsthand the power that teenagers have to not only to make change, to impact change, to make something positive, but to create their own ending to their own amazing stories. She shared many of those stories, and those original Freedom Writers shared many of their stories. And I couldn't help but think how incredible the opportunities are that we've given our young people in this district to have an active voice, to continue to express that active voice, and to really have adults in this school district appreciate and to understand that we really are here to educate them, and we work and serve at their pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Item 10.4 is President's Report. Information item, 5 minutes. Earlier this evening, I alluded to what my President's Report was going to be about this evening, and it is going to be about service as well, but not service as we just heard about, but service as a person of a member of the community. I truly believe that when a person has been raised to know what service to a community is about from a very early age, that they will then provide service to everyone in the community, no matter what capacity they hold in their life. For example, we have many parents here tonight. It is not too early to start your children in service. You ask a neighbor, maybe they're elderly, maybe they're disabled, maybe they just can't do something for themselves. Rake the leaves, water the plants. That's called service. And as you continue your life and growing and learning, parents as well, please encourage your children to always provide service. Their junior high students can do more than an elementary school student. High school students can definitely do more than a junior high and an elementary school student. Create families in your community. That's what it's all about. It's not just focused solely on children. It's focused on parents. It's focused on community members. It's focused on those community-based organizations that help one another lift up to another level of accomplishment. I'm just one board member, I sit here, but together, this is an entire board. Each one of us has the power of a voice, the power of a vote, and collectively we make things happen. And when we have to be careful when you get to this level so that we don't start putting forth what we think are the solutions, what we think the community needs, but rather get into the community, find out what the community is wanting and desiring, and truly live the life of service by making decisions that the community is asking for. It's all about the kids. That was my campaign slogan. It's all about the kids. And every decision we make should only be focused on children and their success. Thank you. Item 10.5, Student Board Member Report, Katrina Yee. It's an information item, 5 minutes.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. Since taking my seat behind this dais in July, I realized how lucky I am to meet many influential people I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet had I not been in this position. In many ways, they've shaped me to be open-minded to all opinions and to take new approaches as a board member. Just last week, I had the opportunity to go to San Francisco to meet and network with about 20 student board members across California, some from Los Angeles and others closer to home. I had the pleasure of meeting fellow student board members Kyle Ivanko, Matthew Tran, and even Josephine Coe, the student member on the State Board of Education. Through the expertise of my peers, we discussed our own experiences as board members and shared ideas about what we could bring back to our own districts. Not every technique used in one district will fit the mold of our own, but I hope to bring something back from this learning experience that previous student board members haven't done before. Because of the ideas that we shared among my fellow student board members and other organizations like CASTLE, the California Association for Student Leaders, I'm able to bring back these tools to my executive board, inspiring us to create our own youth conference sometime next year. This truly was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I want to especially thank everyone who supported me through this learning experience. I know by far the most difficult challenge for me is reaching out to my fellow students. Being restricted at school for at least 6 hours decreases my time to reach out to students of other campuses. Yet, along my short journey last week, I've learned the importance of seizing every opportunity to connect with my peers, knowing their story and representing them in the most authentic manner. Every student offers a valuable perspective, and I hope for the sake of the students that every voice can be represented through me. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10.6, information sharing by board members. I have Vice President Wu.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. I too had the pleasure of attending the CSBA conference in San Francisco, and I just wanted to share with my colleagues that I focused my attention on attending workshops regarding how to best use the bond money that we were graciously permitted to have in measures Q and R. So I will be bringing to you what I learned regarding transparency and how we can prove to the people that we will be good stewards of the public's money. Thank you.
Member Arroyo.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. Right now, at this moment, I would like to take a couple of minutes to talk about tomorrow's meeting, not because I want to address the points in it, but just to highlight that there will be some changes to the agenda, but more than anything, much discussion has been made about, what to do with the appointment, if to go an election, not to go to an election. And so I had asked the executive committee to put an item on the agenda to discuss, just open the space for the discussion to happen about should we have an election or not, or just to deal with the issue of the vacancy on Area 1 for discussion purposes. And I have been informed that on the agenda there's item 5.0, which will deal with the next steps for an appointment process, which we will probably or potentially move to the beginning of the agenda in order to allow for the board and the public to have an open discussion about what the options are for the district, given all the information that has been flowing in the last few days, which it's a lot, and it's too much to digest in a few minutes of open public comment. And so there's a possibility that next steps for appointment process might be moved up to the beginning of the agenda in order to have that dialogue. And should the board decide to move in a different direction, allow the candidates to decide if they want to not then present and spend the whole evening going through the whole selection process. So I thought that it was of pertinent importance to at least share that with the public, given the fact of that the meeting is tomorrow. So for those of you that were interested in chiming in, not only to speak on behalf of any of the candidates that are wanting to be the representative of Area 1, but if you had any comments on anything else of the process, tomorrow's the time, and item 5.0 might be coming up ahead before all interviews. And with that, that's my item to share.
Thank you. Any other board members wishing to address? Thank you. Item 11.0, strategic plan and other initiatives. 11.1, public hearing and charter school renewal petition for Bowling Green Charter. It is a conference item, 15-minute presentation and 15-minute discussion. With that, I will invite Ms. Jennifer Lopez to the podium, and I'll open up the public hearing.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, esteemed board members, and Superintendent Raymond. On September 7th, Bowling Green, or Sac City Unified, received a dependent charter renewal petition from Bowling Green, seeking a 5-year renewal for their K through 6th grade program. Their charter expires on June 1st of 2013, and tonight we'll be conducting a public hearing where both principals will have the opportunity to discuss and describe their educational program for all of you to consider the level of support. Currently, Bowling Green is divided into 2 small learning communities. That's the 2 principals. We have Ken McCoy Academy for Excellence, where Susan Gibson is the principal. And we also have Chacon Language and Science Academy, where Liz Aguirre is the current principal. They will go ahead and have a presentation for you all to see their educational program.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, members of the board, Superintendent Raymond. Thank you. We're excited this evening to bring our community in and to share with you what great things happen at Bowling Green. Bowling Green has been a charter in Sac City since 1993. Hold on one second, Jennifer. I need to. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Since 1993, and it was the first charter in the district. And it was begun as a grassroots effort by the principal and the staff. I'm going to begin by explaining the 2 small learning communities. As Jennifer alluded to, we are comprised of 2 separate learning communities. One is the Ken McCoy, and that is established. We currently have about 460 kids. That we've added 3 since this was done. Visual and performing arts are a big piece of what we do. We're currently getting together our huge production for the Nutcracker for this holiday season. And then looping, establishing long-term relationships between families and teachers. Students stay with their teachers for 2 years.
Good evening. I'm Liz Aguirre, principal of Chacon Language and Science Academy. At our school, we have 360 students now. We have a dual Spanish immersion program with the conversational Spanish program, where all students, if they're not in the immersion program, they have the opportunity to learn conversational Spanish skills. We also focus on inquiry science. Within our school combined enrollment, we have 812 students combined. In addition to the 812 students, 62 of the students that are enrolled at Bowling Green come from outside of the district. Our school population is primarily Hispanic. We have a very positive school climate. Some of the things that contribute to our positive school climate are the life skills, our lifelong guidelines, efficacy, our anti-bullying prevention program, and we also have a very strong parent as partners in our community, with to date about over 2,000 hours that have been contributed to the school. In addition to that, we are focusing on the social emotional learning component, and we focus on incorporating our parents into the leadership of the school site council, ELAC, and volunteering on campus.
Since the charter's last renewal petition in 2008, we've had 79 points of API growth, and which is showing that we are doing a nice job of bringing kids up from the bottom and moving them forward. The next slide will show a comparison. We chose our 2 neighboring schools and then a school that had similar demographics as well, to show that Bowling Green has definitely done a very fine job of moving students forward in bands and proficiency levels, with 79 point growth in API over the 5 years.
Focusing on our English language learners, 5 years ago, our scores were about equal to the district. Since then, we've grown 90 points. Comparing to our neighboring schools, again, the schools of attendance for our students and a school with similar demographics, we have grown 90 points.
Looking at our AYP, we have shown over the 5 years about 11 points of growth, percentage points of growth with language arts, and 15% growth with math. We are SES is, of course, numerically significant for us. We're 100% free and reduced lunch school. So on the next slide, you'll see that on the left side, the three bolded categories, subgroups are numerically significant, along with school-wide and our SES. You can see the growth in the different areas, knowing, of course, that with the AYP, there's been growth, but not enough growth. And so as we move forward through the presentation, we'll address our goals and our plans for improving that AYP.
Again, our numerically significant groups are Asian, Hispanic, and English learners, where in math, our Hispanic and English learners met AYP criteria, our Asians did not, and it's something we will be addressing during our presentation and interventions. However, we want to point out our African American students, although not numerically significant, they do make up 16% of our student population, and they had the greatest growth at 29.6. And in math, all of our subgroups made growth. In order to continue to grow, both in API and AYP, we are analyzing our data closely. We use the DFS method, which is data feedback strategy. We look at multiple sources of data to determine how our students are progressing. We also look at the student work. What are students producing? We know that in order to continue to grow, we need to provide interventions for our students, and we also need to take proactive measures to ensure that we take early intervention steps so that we're not continually providing interventions. Some of the steps that we are taking are, we both have an intervention teacher for each of the campuses. We have targeted small group instruction where it's differentiated according to the needs of the students based on the data. We have one-on-one tutoring because some of our students need further support. We have targeted after-school support where we work collaboratively with Club Z in addition to our own after-school support that is provided on behalf of the school. We have training specialists that come and work with our teachers. And in the area of the training specialists, we're primarily working on the analysis piece in areas where our students are learning to use higher order thinking skills in order to push our students to be more proficient and advanced. We are incorporating more technology to get our students motivated. And we are ensuring that all teachers are being supported to ensure the consistency in learning. We want every teacher to know the Lexile of their students so that students are setting goals and reaching those goals. And again, we want to make sure that all of our projects for the project-based learning are based on rigorous outcomes.
And we use a similar method for math interventions to determine what form of interventions we should provide for students. Some of them are listed here. We have been participating with the Math Navigator program that the district has initiated. We also have training specialists and professional development geared towards our goal is to develop a stronger conceptual understanding in math so that students are no longer just relying on procedural math, and to start building that deeper understanding so that students, as they are integrated and we begin to integrate Common Core standards, that the students are prepared and ready to move on to that higher level of understanding. And then also, as a part of our community-based, we are, and I believe Board Member Rodriguez just spoke to this, we very much feel that giving back to the community is a very valuable part of any student's education. And so we have programs on campus such as Big Buddies, Conflict Managers, Social Justice Learning. One of the units is a science unit where the students actually put on a health fair. We've had ecology units where students are providing a recycling campaign throughout the school, but just ways in which they can give back.
In addition, we feel that it's very valuable for us to provide our students with a well-rounded education. So some of the components that we incorporate are being there experiences. For many of our students, what they read in a textbook is not familiar. They've never experienced it. They need to attend those places so that they have some background knowledge to be able to comprehend. We also value our after-school enrichment programs that help develop our students in other areas. They provide motivation and drive for students and help increase their desire to continue to learn in other areas when they feel confident. We also have our sixth graders who go to Redwood Alliance or Sly Park. That helps them to transition to middle school and prepare them to become more independent.
We're also very excited. We have several community partners that we work with. I want to just point out a couple of them. The Greek Orthodox Church, actually, we have a program called Blessings in a Backpack. Phenomenal thing that allows 100 of our neediest students to receive a backpack each week with food for the weekend. The kids return the backpacks, the ladies pick them up, fill them up again, and then we also, along with that, have a couple of very strong readers who are, they are part of the Friends of the Sacramento Library, and once a month they provide a book within that backpack as well. And then we also have Valley High Resource Center. We use their resources to provide parenting classes on campus for our families as well. Breakthrough in the academic is one of the long-term projects that we've been involved with and we're very pleased with, and I know Ms. Lopez is very familiar with it through Country Day School. She's an alumni of the Breakthrough program as well. We are able to send our sixth graders, several of them every year, to work on leadership skills before they move on to the middle school.
And because of our good relationship with our students, many of them come back to visit us. And as they return, they let us know where they are now. And here are some of the universities where they've gone on to. And to end our presentation, we wanted to share our school song, Dream, Believe, Achieve, which encompasses all of the areas that we want our students to learn and leave our school with. The DFS method, the efficacy about believing in their dreams, reaching for those dreams and achieving them. We hope that you will take some time to come out to our school and visit, and maybe our students can sing it for you.
Thank you. Are there any questions at this time?
Are there any questions of my colleagues? I don't see any at the moment. President Rodriguez, do you have any questions?
Actually, we're going to go with public comment. So we'll ask you two to take a seat here, and then after public comment, we'll come back for board discussion.
Thank you.
We have 17 public comments on 11.1.
At this time, usually when we go over 10, I ask the board what the pleasure of the board is. Typically, we allow for 1 minute each commenter, and therefore I'm going to ask the board what their desire is on this. 1 minute, or would you like to go with a full 2 minutes? 17 comments. One minute.
It's your school.
Member Arroyo. 1 minute.
Madam President, what I would like in giving the 1 minute is that if we could have those making public comments not repeat a statement that had been made before, but if they agree with a statement, then please let us know that you agreed with a prior speaker. What we would like to hear are additional comments that might be germane to our decision making. Thank you.
Thank you. So 1 minute with the agreement that public commenters, if they have agreed with the prior person, to come up and say, I agree. or just kind of wave to us. All right, so with that, 1 minute on the clock for each public commenter, and go ahead, Mr. Gabe Ross.
Our first 4 comments are from Pia Wong, Shelley Kirkland, Sean Yang, and Irene Navas-Cisne.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, Superintendent Raymond, and members of the board and community. As a university professor at Sac State, I prepared a 3-minute statement, so I will cut it very, very quickly. I have worked with Bowling Green Charter School for almost 20 years, and out of this shared history, I could highlight so many things. I see so many of my former students sitting in the audience, but I want to really focus on a partnership that we've had with Bowling Green since early in 2000. It's a collaborative effort between the school and our science methods class for the multiple subject teacher preparation program, and it works like this. For the first 5 weeks of the semester, students stay on campus at Sac State and they learn some theory, and then they come out to the Bowling Green campus where things get real for them. They spend about 5 weeks observing Bowling Green teachers teaching science, and then they start to collaboratively plan lessons with them, and then they teach the lessons to small groups of students. This is really a partnership that benefits everybody. The mentor teachers at Bowling Green have a great experience. Our student teachers have a real, authentic teaching experience, and the students get to learn high-quality science curriculum in a very small setting, which is rare these days in public schools. Your superintendent has a copy of this book. Chapter 2 was written by the Bowling Green teachers, and it describes this collaboration. Thank you very much, and I endorse the renewal of their charter.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Raymond. My name is Shelley Kirkland. I'm a teacher at Fernbacon Middle School, but tonight I speak as a parent. I have 2 children with my husband, who is a middle school principal within the district as well. Last year, he changed schools, and because he was...
Sorry.
Yikes, that's fast. Because my husband was going to be driving in another direction, we had a decision to make to keep our children at Crocker Riverside, but drop them off 2 hours early, or transfer them to Bowling Green because of its proximity to Fernbacon where I work. My husband and I looked into the school, and I met with Principal Gibson. I cannot tell you how happy I am that we made the decision to have our children attend Bowling Green McCoy. Our kids have achieved at a high level both academically and socially. My kids have been in plays, had debates, learned how to play rugby, and have improved academically as well. Last year, my daughter scored advanced in both math and language arts on CSTs, and my son scored advanced and high proficient on his first try. The teachers have worked diligently with my kids, and though we've had opportunities to move them to other schools, we've chosen not to because of how our family feels about Bowling Green. I also see the contributions of Bowling Green Charter from the perspective of a Fernbacon teacher. A lot of great things have happened at Fernbacon since the superintendent and board brought Ms. Purcell and new administrators to our campus, but one of the advantages we have is that we're across the fence from Bowling Green and benefit from having their former students contribute to our student body. Our students that have attended Bowling Green, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I thank you for the time and appreciate the opportunity to share my support for Bowling Green. It's a place that benefits the students I teach every day, and I'm happy that I found it for my own children as well. Thank you.
I got to put it down a little bit. Hi, good evening, the superintendent and board members. I'm a parent at Bowling Green. I have 7 children. 5 of them have gone through the school. One has actually went through the breakthrough program. Now he's in the GATE program at San Brandon Junior High. And I still have 4 more children attending Bowling Green. It's a wonderful school. The looping program is really, really good. They spend the extra time with the kids. They pay attention to the growth, not just academically, but emotionally, and if they know the looping program really works. It's a really good school, it's a really good school. And being the charter, when we first moved back to Sacramento, we were looking for a charter school, and in the area that it is in, they do a very a superb job. Okay, thanks.
Good evening. My name is Irene Navas-Cisne, and I am here to tell you all about Bowling Green. Right now, I am doing an assignment on technology because we have a program that's called Edmodo. On Edmodo, it's kind of like Facebook because our teachers post an assignment, we try to do it, and then when we're done, we type it in, and then we wait for a grade. Also, I like the school because we have many, many projects and field trips that we like to do. The field trips help us because we can experience new things and learn every day and every day a new thing. Thank you. Please renew our school. My name is Irene Nava.
Our next 4 comments are from Scott Smith, Camric Solario, Chuck Snyder, and Jasmine Flores.
Good evening. Sorry. That better? Got to lean down in. Hello. I'm still Scott Smith. I haven't changed. And I'm the president of Sacramento City Teachers Association. And I'd just like to say a couple of quick things. First, that the school, of course, started in 1993. It has improved incrementally every year. And it's obviously, if you look around, very well supported. Hi, everybody. I would just like to say that the Sacramento City Teachers Association proudly supports Bowling Green. Thank you.
I just would like to inform our audience members that if we keep continuing to clap, we'll never get through all of our comments in a reasonable amount of time, so we can adopt the silent clap and let everyone know that you're in support. Thank you.
I'm Chuck Snyder, and my grandson is a first grader at Chacon Language Academy and Bilingual Program. Over 30 years, I worked at a Bay Area school district and a director of a preschool and after-school programs. Oftentimes, parents' ability to fully participate in the education of their children was hindered by a language barrier. The families got disenfranchised and less involved in the education of their children. Children need their parents involved, support, and encouraging them. They need their parents to enforce at home what they learn at school. The Chacon Academy is a program that creates those bridges that connect home and school. The Chacon Academy promotes full literacy for children and families. In a global world, being bilingual is critical. My family speaks English at home, and yet my daughter and her husband purposely sought out Chacon Academy as a program where they wanted their children to receive an early education. The school that would give them an unbelievable chance to learn Spanish and English. Into the future, California is going to be a bilingual state, and my grandchildren, as a result, the Chacon Language Academy is going to thrive and prosper.
Thank you.
And they will be a leader as well as all the other children in the society. Thank you very much.
Good evening, board members. My name is Camric Solario, and today I would like to speak on behalf of Chacon Language and Science Academy. And I'd like to talk about what makes the school so special. First, let me introduce myself. I am a former student of Chacon Language and Science Academy, and I attended there for 5th and 6th grade. After graduating, I decided to become a volunteer because I enjoy seeing the values in this school and I enjoy seeing it thrive. Now, one of the things that makes it thrive is its very unique projects that it has. We have the funding to create a lot of projects that are hands-on, and they're creative and fun for kids, and they also provide educational values. Also, the bilingual programs in here offer to teach students a second language, and they have many cultural values, and also learning a second language, I think, is a very good value for college. Now, I think I see this school for what it can be with what it has, and what charter renewal can give it. And if you guys would like, I invite the board to come and see what a great school we have.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Raymond. My name is Jasmine Flores, and I am a sixth grader. I want to talk to you about Bowling Green. Our education is lots of fun, especially because this is a project-based school. In history, we are learning about ancient civilizations. For the winter program, we are doing a newscast. We are having 3 different stories, and we are recording them on the iPads. I have been at Bowling Green since preschool, and I love this school. Please renew our charter. Thank you.
Our next 4 comments are from Deborah Terrell, Miles Terrell, Rosie Susili Torres, and Carmen Solario.
If it's okay with the board, I would like to give my son my minute. I think his presentation speaks volumes and says everything that I would have said.
I will be translating.
Hold on just a second. Why don't we have our timekeeper put the 2 minutes on for our presenter? Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Miles Terrell. Yo soy un estudiante de tercer grado en la Academia de Lenguaje y Ciencia Chacón.
Good evening, board members. My name is Miles Terrell. I'm a student in the 3rd grade at the Chacon Language and Science Academy.
Al inicio del tercer grado, mi puntuación fue de 690 en SRI. Mi puntuación en SRI ahora es 958.
In the inception of 3rd grade, or beginning of 3rd grade, my SRI score was 690, and my current SRI reading score is 958.
El programa de inmersión en español me ha ayudado a tener más confianza y sobresalir en inglés y español.
The Spanish immersion program has helped me to have more confidence and achieve in both English and in Spanish.
Mis padres están orgullosos de ese hecho que me están exponiendo a un nuevo idioma y cultura.
My parents are very proud that they have exposed me to a new culture and a new language.
Ellos están sorprendidos de mi habilidad para leer y hablar español.
They are very surprised by my ability to both speak and read in Spanish.
Yo amo a mi escuela y apoyo la renovación del charter.
I support my school and I support the charter renewal.
So I just want to point out that Miles is we speak English at home only. So this is the value, and you can see how an English learner, if they are in the right environment, can speak another language. We can give our child a lot of advantages, but a second language was not one of them. So that was very important for us. We felt that for him to be successful moving forward, Spanish is going to be a big part of his future. So we ask that you renew the charter. Thank you.
For the record, could you restate your name and your son's name?
My name is Deborah Terrell. My son's name is Miles Terrell. Thank you.
We'd like to see her. There you go. Sorry.
Good evening, and my name is Rosie Suseli Torres from Bowling Green, Chacon. I don't want you guys to change my school because I like how it is. There are several reasons why I want you guys to leave it how it is. One, the students are really kind. When you are new, they welcome you. Everyone helps each other. I really like the teachers because they are really nice. Also, the teachers won't kids get bullied. In addition, they help us learn properly. I like learning here because we don't learn by textbooks. We learn by reading novels. For example, we learn similes by reading The Year of the Dog by Grace Lynn. Also, everything is hands-on. These are all reasons you should not change the school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Carmen Solorio, and I am a member of the steering committee at Bowling Green Chacon. I've been a member of the committee for the last 2 years. You just hear my son, Camric Solorio, come and give a statement. And during these years that I've been a member of the steering committee, I have witnessed the hard work and effort of the staff, the teachers, and all the other committees, ELAC, PTA, working together for us. President Rodriguez said, it's all about the children. We all try to work together in cooperation to make the best decisions for our children. One of the things that I love about the school is the family culture that you can perceive when you're in the school. In our steering committee, we have 3 non-English speaking members, and that says, that parents feel comfortable and they feel their voices here in the school. Students and parents feel comfortable to come and approach teachers and administration. And as you mentioned, it's all about the children, service, and the community. And, I think my son coming back to volunteer at the school, can say more than I can say. And I invite you to come over to our school for a visit and, see for yourself. Thank you.
Our next 4 comments are from Daniela Nuno, Adolfo Coronado, Margaret Rund, and Agnes Watson.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. My name is Daniela Nuno, and I am a student of Bowling Green. I am here to tell you to please renew our school. Why, you might be wondering? Well, I'm here to tell you why. The first reason is because of our teachers. Our teachers help us a lot with what we need help in, and and they never let us fall behind. The second reason is about all the opportunities that us as students have. For example, we have an art teacher and a Spanish teacher, and we also have the chance to win scholarships such as Sacramento Theater Company and Breakthrough. Last year, I got the chance to go to Sacramento Theater Company, and it was there where I could develop my acting skills and learn new ones. Thank you, and please renew our school.
Good evening. My name is Adolfo Coronado. I'm a teacher at Cal Middle School, live in Elk Grove. I have the great opportunity to send both of my kids to Bowling Green Chacon, and I'm happy how they are doing in the classroom. They are achieving high. The teacher doing a wonderful job for both of them. They both did really well on their testing. So I'm very honored that my kids are there at Bowling Green. Also, coming from Fern-Bacon last year as a language arts teacher, seeing the kids funnel in from Bowling Green Chacon into my classroom was great to see how well prepared and a high achievement that they did in the classroom. So I'm happy to be here speaking for Bowling Green Chacon and seeing my kids and everyone else do a wonderful job. Thank you.
Superintendent Raymond, school board members, and guests, thank you for allowing me to come before you tonight on behalf of the Bowling Green Charter School. I am Margaret Rund, a member of the Chacon PTA and also a member of the Chacon Steering Committee. I am also the grandmother and primary caregiver of 2 students who attend Bowling Green, Brendan, who is in the 6th grade on the McCoy side, and Bridget in the 4th grade on the Chacon side. I am before you tonight representing both sides, McCoy and Chacon. Both of my grandchildren are autistic. When I had to all of a sudden uproot my life and relocate 2 years ago, next month, to take over the round-the-clock care of the children, boy, were my eyes opened. My children, my daughters I gave birth to, are 42 and 39. I hadn't been around the school education other than, you know, attending school functions in the little farm town I lived in. Like I said, my eyes were opened. It was one thing to be the grandma from afar and not be seen everything. And another thing to no longer be grandma, but now be that round-the-clock caregiver. I immediately saw things that needed to be addressed and changed with my little kiddos, and with the help of the excellent principals and educators on both sides, we have made that happen. We were all determined to find resolutions for the kids. It has happened slower than I wanted, but it is taking place.
Thank you.
Both of the children are growing into individuals who can.
Thank you.
Yes, but I have a different perspective coming from what I have had from these 2 fantastic ladies, these fabulous educators, and the support of the rest of the school and the staff from both sides.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Please renew
your
the
time
charter.
has expired.
In closing, I would like to thank Board Member Wu for visiting both the Bowling Green campuses, and I invite the rest of you to please schedule time for a visit. Come spend some time in the classroom and watch our children learn. Have lunch with the kids in each of the cafeterias and sit down and talk with and get to know our fine teachers.
Thank you.
See firsthand why we support Bowling Green School. Thank you for your attention and your consideration. Also, both of my children, my grandchildren, have written letters, and that they would like me to pass to each of you, and I will be doing that.
Pass them over this way, and
Okay.
we'll be happy to receive them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, Superintendent and board members. Let me start off by saying I've lived in the community for 25 years, so I have 2 generations that have went to Bowling Green. My kids range from age 30 to 8, and I also have a host of nieces and nephews that went there and grandchildren. Most of the front 2 rows are my children and my grandchildren. Yes, 12 grandchildren. So let me tell you that my daughter, my 8-year-old, has a chronic health issues, but Bowling Green Charter School has ensured that she received a quality education. The teachers are wonderful, the principals wonderful. They also have a program there called Club Z, and they all work together to ensure the kids get a quality education. My 8-year-old is a straight A student. She was elected to go to the GATE program. My other children are, I have a son that's a CEO of a bank, a nurse, occupational therapist, and Bowling Green Charter School set the foundation for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final two comments on 11.1 are from Megan Haas and Dennis Ma.
Hi, good evening. My name is Megan Haas. I am the program manager for the Club Z after-school program at Bowling Green. I have had the chance to work with hundreds of kids from Bowling Green and their families. It's a very supportive and family-oriented environment, which I absolutely love. Also working with the wonderful supportive and creative teachers that I get to work with on Chacon and McCoy, and having not one but two excellent principals that support the kids in every way that they can. The school is a great asset to the community. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the school board, Mr. Superintendent. My name is Dennis Ma. 20 years ago, I stood before a Sac City board as the lead petitioner for the original charter school. This evening, I'd like to share two pieces of information. I think new information you haven't heard tonight. First, what is a dependent charter school? People wrestle with that all the time. But if you look at element O on any petition that's filed with the authorizer in the state, that will give you the answer. Element O, labor relations collective bargaining, a declaration of whether or not the charter school shall be deemed the exclusive public school employer of the employees of the charter school. You say yes, then you're independent. You say no, then you're obligated to follow the negotiated contract. You are dependent on the negotiated contract. That's simple. Otherwise, dependent charter schools have the same autonomy in budget and curriculum as independent charter schools. May I continue, ma'am? This is very important, the second thing. The three pillars I see over here. Bowling Green Charter School has been a model for your goals, three pillars, for the last 20 years. You've seen tonight, they had a list of where kids are going to college. You've seen young scholars come up and testify on your board. Miles, bilingual, speaking Spanish, English, primary language. Second, parent community involvement. You see the parents behind me. That school was created as a grassroots charter. There are 4 dependent charter schools in this district. 3 were created by central office administrators approximately 9 to 10 years ago. Bowling Green is the only charter school that was created grassroots by teachers and parents. And what do you get for that? The results. Last 2 years, API, higher than district average. What more could you ask for? You have students who are very confident, as you've seen tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
My apologies, President Rodriguez. We have one more comment from Deyanira Zapata.
Good morning, board members.
Good evening.
Good evening, board members. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. My name is Deyanira Zapata. I'm currently a student at CK McClatchy and a former student of Bowling Green Elementary. Being able to attend Bowling Green was a great experience for me. It has also helped me a lot because it has the bilingual program. When you start school not knowing a word of English, and it's great to be able to go to a school where they'll help you learn your English will make your Spanish stronger. I promoted out of Bowling Green with honors, moved on to middle school where I also graduated with honors, and now I am a 9th grader at CK McClatchy and a future graduate of Harvard University where I will study law and become an attorney. So as a former student of Bowling Green, I ask of you to please renew our charter. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our public comment for this item. And at this time, I'm going to close the public hearing and then go into board member questions and comments. Okay, so I'll close the public hearing now. Now that we've closed, I would like to ask board members if they have any questions for our presenters at this time. Member Arroyo.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. And it's not so much as questions, as just comment. And I'll try to be brief in the sense that phenomenal presentation, and not only presentation by the principals, but also by the community that makes Bowling Green what Bowling Green is. Thank you to the students, and as I was reminded up here, those students that were up here are just tremendous talent that this community has, and I would love to see them one day as either board members Nava or board member Solorio or board member Torres or Terrell. I think that they are really an inspiration and truly what this community is about and what the future. So we look at them and we see that we have a bright future in this community, and thank you for all the work that you do, and I really appreciate you coming forth with all this information.
So we have no other board member questions, huh? I actually have to say, the person who swore me in today, my nephew, and his sister went to Bowling Green.
Oh, fabulous.
So it just so happens that when I first moved back to Sacramento, I was the one that was assisting my brother, who that's his child, help him, with the educational process of his children. So I found it to be amazing that the teachers were so caring, and they were active. They would call and talk to my mom, talk to my brother, talk to me, want me to come in. We would go through homework assignments together. It was probably, from what I heard from my nephew, his sister was in kindergarten at that time, but from what I heard from my nephew, it was one of the most pleasant experiences of his educational life, his early life. And it wasn't too good of a time that they were going through at that time, and Bowling Green was there for him and his sister. So I just have to say that. In addition to that, I have visited the school, not this year, but in the prior year, and went to go see specifically the special education buildings that you have there on campus, and was quite impressed with the amount of work that is being done by the amazing people that work here for our district and provide those types of services to the children who attend there. You never know until you walk into those classrooms what takes place and the amazing things that people do. So, I just want to commend your direction and where you're going. Very impressed with the increase in scores, and most importantly, and I'll tell you my own experience when I first came here, and I'm not sure who was the person at the front desk, but when I first moved in 2003 here to Sacramento, I was looking for a school for my own child. However, unfortunately, I asked, how was your parent engagement at this school? And the person said, well, it's pretty non-existent. And I said, well, okay, and it just really made a parent like me walk away. But here today proves that person wrong, whoever it was, because now I'm seeing that the parent participation is definitely there, and whoever's doing it, whoever's encouraging it, keep it up, because this is truly valuable to all of us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, do you have Vice President Wu?
information on it.
Information.
Oh, okay. We'll bring it back next week, next time.
Well, yes, this item is conference item. It is here just to ask questions before you get to the next stage. So if board members need additional time, maybe they want to do a visit, perhaps the next time when you come forward, there'll be questions for you at that time.
Absolutely. We'll be prepared for them, and we welcome any of you to come out at any time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
you. Concludes this item. Item 11.2, elementary and K through 8 schools data presentation. Actually, I'm going to take a 2-minute recess to allow the room to clear. I bet you didn't know that, huh, Gustavo? My own family members went there.